What's happening, boss ladies? In this video, I want to talk to you about the 5 habits in sales that make you come off crazy, frustratingly salesy. And actually, I started off with 5, but I am adding what is probably the most crucial, most annoying, most frustrating sales habit to the end of this video. So make sure you watch to the end so that you don't miss that one. Before we jump in, I just have to say, I love sales when it's done right. So a lot of times people think all sales are salesy, but it's really important that you understand the difference between true sales, good sales that other people will enjoy and that you will enjoy versus what other people find cringeworthy and what you will actually end up hating. The first terrible sales habit is all happening inside of our heads, and that is worrying about our worst case scenario. This is really for those people who are struggling with sales anxiety. When I'm talking about worst case scenario, I'm talking about being in your head worrying about what might happen, how that other person might be perceiving you, what they might say, whether or not they like you. This ends up making you awkward and uncomfortable because you're not able to get into the groove, into the flow, really showing up to serve that other person. And if you are awkward and uncomfortable, the other person is going to be awkward and uncomfortable. So even though the things you're doing might not be pushy, it's still going to create a really negative experience for both of you. Comment below with imagination if you know that yours tends to run a little wild in a very unhelpful way. The second sales habit to avoid that makes you super salesy is not providing value first. This means going into that sales conversation and immediately hammering them with what they need to buy or how much things cost or all kinds of information that they may not even be ready for yet. Now, value can come in a lot of forms. This could be education, quick wins that you help them to get. This could be aha moments that you help them to have or tips that you're giving them. It doesn't matter if you're a service provider online or you have a physical product offline. The most important thing you can do is build that know, like, and trust factor by offering them some value first. So let's say, for instance, you are a boutique owner and you sell clothing and jewelry and that sort of thing. How can you provide value first? It's as simple as being able to maybe show them some styling tip or giving them a compliment, showing them something that looks really good with their skin tone, with their shape, with their color, helping them to figure out what's right for them, teaching them something about style or fashion before you try to sell them a product. If you're working online, it could just be as simple as creating content that allows you to connect with them, or at least them to connect with you, so that you are building that know, like, and trust factor through everything that you're providing along the way. Making sure that the content, whether it's emails, social media posts, are actually providing something, education, inspiration, laughter, something that is going to build that trust factor so that when they're ready to buy, they're gonna think of you. The third sales habit to avoid that makes you ridiculously salesy is focusing too much on your needs versus theirs. This means when you're focusing on the goals that you want to hit that month and you're letting that dictate how you are directing that conversation that you're having with them, that is the worst way to come off salesy because it's very obvious to them that you're trying to meet your goals and not help them meet their goals. The entire purpose of sales is to show up to serve that other person, to help that other person find the solution that they need, not to provide them a solution that's gonna help us meet our numbers. It's okay to set those goals and to have those goals in mind, but then you need to be working on how many sales appointments, how many meetings, how many people do you need to connect with to hit those goals, not how many people do I need to push to be able to help me hit the numbers in as few people as possible. This is really about upgrading your efforts and your skills, not helping them upgrade into something they don't want. Drop me a comment below with numbers if you have ever been in that situation where you're pretty sure they were more focused on their own goals than yours. Number 4 is fake rapport. And I don't know about y'all, but this is so annoying to me when it's obvious that they're trying to be too friendly. You can tell that it's an effort. You can tell that they are putting it on versus just a casual conversation where we can connect. And a really good example of this is when people start telling you personal details that you don't want to know. I'm not there to hear about your weekend. I'm there to get my questions answered and get my needs met. If the conversation is forced on your end, if you're plastering a fake smile on your face, the other person can sense it. What we really need to do is first get ourselves into a state of being where we're genuinely just in a good mood, happy and playful, and that comes across naturally. Then when we're in that good frame of mind, we can build real rapport by focusing on them, getting to know them, paying them compliments, and through that, finding out things about them that you have in common, that you can actually connect with, but that are still relevant and interesting to them as well. I know none of us are great at small talk. I don't particularly love it either. I'm not very good at it, but it is a skill that we can develop. So comment below with small talk if you know it's something that you need to be working on as well. The fifth sales habit that is making you salesy is not asking enough questions. And this is actually the solution to number 3 and number 4. We focus on their needs and we're able to build real rapport when we're asking real questions to get to know them, to get to know their needs, what they're looking for, what they want, what they don't want, and really understanding who they are. When you think about which questions to ask questions like when, how long, what, why. These are going to be questions that allow you to dig deeper into their problems, their situation, and really get a good picture of what might be the solution for them based on what you can provide. So an example might be, how long has this been a problem for you? How long have you been looking for this thing? What are some things that you have tried in the past? Why now? Is there something coming up that you're planning for? Really what you're trying to do, again, is just look at their situation from every angle, getting to know them, getting to know their needs, getting to know any problems that they might be having that is going to allow you to help them to solve them. Even if you are working in retail sales, the same thing applies. What are you looking for? Do you have an event coming up? When is it? What have you tried before that you don't like? What styles don't tend to fit you? Where do you feel comfortable? Figuring out really what they're about is going to allow them to feel heard and seen, but it's also going to allow them to talk themselves into the solution. The more they're aware of the problem and the full scope of the problem, the more excited they are to find that solution. And so they're really engaging with you in that process of looking at what it is you have to offer, whether that is clothing, whether that is some other product or services that you're providing. Also, be sure to ask questions that garner permission. For instance, is it okay if I follow up with you next Friday to give you enough time to make this decision? Is it okay to add you to our mailing list so that I can send you some coupons for the next time you're coming in? Permission-based questions garner yeses, and it creates a positive environment. Asking questions is the key to good sales, to connection, to understanding, and to be able to really provide value and solutions to that other person. I cannot state this enough. The key to good sales is asking lots of questions. But this leads me to my bonus tip or sales habit to avoid, and that is using their answers against them. If you want to come off frustratingly salesy, if you want to tick people off, if you want them to go into Facebook groups after they've gotten off the phone with you and complain about the call that you just had, then go ahead, use their answers against them. But if you really want to provide a service, be of value, create a positive experience, and be successful, don't do this. A great example of this happens a lot with business coaches, where they'll find out the problem that a person is having. They'll understand the financial problems that they're having. And then when that person is maybe needing to think about the service or the product that they're considering buying, that salesperson on the other end uses their answers against them. I thought you said this was important to you. What's going to happen if you don't do this? And they start pushing gently, but it's still pressure based on their own answers. Nobody likes their needs turned against them. They want to feel like you are on their side. The purpose of asking good questions is not to use those answers as ammunition, but to help them see their own answers, hear from themselves why this is important to them, and basically talk themselves into it. Ask questions until they are asking you, how do I get started? Not until you can then turn it around and say, because you're having this problem and it's been so long and you're so broke, you need these things. And if you're not doing these things, that's telling me that you're not committed or that you're not serious about this. Don't be that salesperson. Nobody likes that salesperson. Your mantra is show up to serve. And there's nothing service related around trying to convince somebody when they're not ready. If they're not ready, ask more questions. Don't give them more of your own answers. Comment below with answers if you have ever had this happen to you, where someone has used your situation to try to pressure you into their supposed solution. By the way, if you're brand new here, my name is Wagner. I'm a belief breakthrough coach, coaching women for these past 10 years to crush their goals, not their soul. If you know your biggest struggles when it comes to success, or the fears, anxieties, and bad habits that are holding you back, be sure to grab my free mindset training below. It'll teach you my exact breakthrough formula that I have been teaching women for this past decade. Be sure to also subscribe and hit the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up to help me out in the YouTube algorithm, as well as leave a comment to say hello, introduce yourself, tell me what it is you do, and the burning questions that you might have. Then check out this next video on 3 salesy mindset shifts, and this one YouTube just thinks you'll like. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Number 4 is fake rapport. And yes, that rhymes, and no, it wasn't intentional until I just said it. Let me do that again. That was so stupid.